Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com. Today we are reviewing the cost of living measurements by the very important website called NUMBEO. NUMBEO is a very important, very used resource by expats all over the world. And today we're going to review the average cost of living that NUMBEO has for Venezuela. So let's start. First, we have to take this average cost of living with a grain of salt due to the fact that most of the entries to such numbers are from Caracas, and Caracas is expensive compared to the rest of the Venezuelan cities. Also, that the spread between living in Caracas or living in many other cities is quite high, even in some cases with a city like Lecheria, the city that I live currently, that is an expensive city for Venezuelan standards, although still cheaper than a city like Caracas. So keep that in mind. So according to NUMBEO, the family of four cost of living monthly is a little bit over $2,000 without including rent. A single person monthly cost is $570. I think that on the first one, on the family of four, I think it's a little bit over what I assume that is the correct amount, and with a single person is lower than I estimate. Let's continue. The cost of living in Venezuela is on average 42.2% lower than the United States. I would say it's even less depending on the city, and if it's in Caracas, I'll say this accurate. The rent in Venezuela is on average 84.6% lower than the United States, and I will say that actually it's a little bit higher if you stay on Caracas on a nice area or a nice area on one of the most known Venezuelan cities. So it's still a good benchmark to start. Also, you have to take into account that this study is made, this number, with 1,479 entries by 112 different contributors of the website on the past year, on the past few months. Now let's go with the restaurant items. A meal on an inexpensive restaurant is $10 per person. A meal for two people on a mid-range three-course dinner, it's around $50. I will say it's even higher, especially on Caracas, but $50 for two people on a decent restaurant. I mean, I'm talking about very good restaurant. I will say it's even higher than that. Let's continue. A meal at McDonald's is around $10. I could argue that's even higher depending on your Mac taste. I can say that. The domestic beer is around $1.50. I know many places that charge just $1, and some high-end places could be way higher. An imported beer could be $250. On my own experience, you can find it even cheaper than that if we are talking about Budweiser or Heineken. The known ones, actually, the spread between the domestic beer and Budweiser and Heineken is almost the same. I mean, the spread is quite low, although if you like the craft beer or these Belgian ales or something, you're gonna break the bank with that. A cappuccino costs on average $1.71. I would say it's even higher on a nice cafe. A can of Coke can cost $1.22. I will say it's even higher on a restaurant. And a bottle of water is 86 cents of the dollar. So yeah, I think it's congruent. Now let's go with the supermarket prices. Milk, $1.80 per 1 liter. Yeah, accurate. A loaf of bread is around $2. I would say it's even cheaper, depending on the kind of bread that you like.
to be just 30 cents or 40 cents, something on that matter. And of course, the most, high-end bread can cost $2, $3. Also, a kilo of rice, $1.16, accurate. A dozen of eggs, that's quite controversial right now in the States. It's actually $2.22 according to NUMBEO. Although I usually buy this very big cardboard of egg that brings 30 eggs and is $4 on my local supermarket. Now let's go with the cheese. Cheese is $4.79 per kilo domestic cheese. And yes, I will say this, but we have a lot of cheeses here in Venezuela and actually are way higher than that. The cheese that I like costs between $15 and $20 per kilo. Keep that in mind. Also, chicken, the typical chicken filet, without the bone is $5.65. I would say it's even higher on my particular case. Beef is $6.20, and I will say it's even higher as well, depending on the cut. Apples, a kilo of apples, $4.41. I'm not a big apple guy, so that depends. A banana, $1 per kilo. I will say it's accurate. Orange, 1.41. Although, if you go to the market, the messy market on the downtown, you can find orange way cheaper. Tomato, 1.45. Potato is $1.49, accurate as well. Onion, 1.75. It's actually what I pay for onions. Lettuce, $1.13. Yeah, that's kind of the price. Water, 1.31, although I pay 50 cents for a big bottle per week. Wine, $7 for a not expensive wine. Yeah, it's kind of the price. And the beer is 1.25 for a domestic beer and $2 for an imported beer. Although, like I said, if you like Budweiser and Heineken, cost almost, a little bit more expensive than the domestic counterpart, but still, so if you like Budweiser and Heineken, you're gonna find it, and you're gonna find it at a very reasonable price. You're gonna be fine. And the last part is cigarettes. A pack of Marlboro costs $4, although there are way cheaper cigarettes compared to Marlboro that cost $1. So if you're a smoker, you're gonna be fine. It's not gonna be expensive. I want to mention something that NUMBEO doesn't mention is the cost of avocado that I love, and I'm sure most of you guys love it as well. The kilo of avocado is around $1.5 $2 per kilo. So with 1 kilo you can buy these two big avocados. I love avocado. I buy like, I don't know, 2 or 3 kilos per week. I love my avocado. Now let's go with transportation. A one-way ticket is 50 cents, kind of inaccurate. I don't use public transportation. A monthly pass is $30. I wouldn't say I say this for Caracas only, for the subway system, the metro system that we already did a video about it. A taxi, a cab ride, a single ride, it costs around $4. I will say, yeah, it's accurate. The price of gasoline is 50 cents per liter, pretty much on the ball. A brand new car, a Volkswagen Golf, it costs around $30,000 for a new one. I wouldn't know because actually Volkswagen is not very popular in Venezuela, unlike Mexico or Brazil. Although there is a price for a Corolla, a brand new Corolla, Toyota Corolla. This is actually a very popular car here in Venezuela. Costs $35,000. The new ones, yeah, recently it's been announced that you can get brand new Toyotas on reasonable prices, quote unquote. Now let's go with utilities. The basics: electricity, heating. You're not gonna need heating in Venezuela. Cooling, water, and garbage. All of those together on an 85 square meters apartment is $19. I will say it's congruent. And the internet is $41.60 for 60 MBs. My current internet price is way cheaper. I used to pay something like that. I changed the provider and right now I pay a little bit over $30. Also, it's not mentioned here that you are going to pay an HOA fee that you're going to pay it if you live in a middle class neighborhood and of course in a high class neighborhood. And this HOA can go as low as $15 and as high as maybe $70 to $80. Usually you're gonna pay, if you're gonna pay a two-bedroom apartment or something, you're gonna pay like $20, $30, $40 tops. Keep that in mind. Now let's go with sports and leisure. A fitness club costs $40.26 on average. I would say it's way higher if you have a very high-end fitness club on Caracas or something. Here in Lecheria it costs like $50 or $60. And so keep that in mind. And of course, if you go to a more affordable city like Merida or Margarita Island, you can find even those at $20, $30. Even lower, but of course, not a good quality one. Also, the tennis court rent, it costs for 1 hour $12.33. I would say you can get a monthly deal for like $20. I haven't been playing tennis for a while. But still, I would say you can get cheaper rates than that. I'm gonna take the word of NUMBEO for. And also, a cinema ticket for an international showing is $5. I'm not going to the movies since before the pandemic, but still, $5, yeah, I would say is accurate. Now let's go with the childcare. Childcare on preschool or kindergarten, it costs $67 per month. I don't have children, so I wouldn't know, but it sounds plausible, accurate. And an international school, elementary school, it costs $6,500 per year. I would say it can cost that. It can cost way higher on a very fancy school in Caracas or maybe here in Lecheria. But yeah, that's kind of accurate. I mean, it's not like the United States that you're gonna pay $100,000 per year or something on this big fancy school. But still, we have some fancy schools and can cost that price or a little bit higher. Now let's go with clothing and shoes. I'm not gonna even review it. Just gonna put it on the screen. I will say on every item, this is the worst for Venezuela. It's gonna be way more expensive buying clothes here in Venezuela, unless maybe you can find some hidden gems with domestic handmade products that you can find them every once in a while. However, I don't recommend to do clothing shopping here in Venezuela. But still, check the prices that are on the screen. Now let's go with the rent prices, one of my favorites. For one bedroom apartment on the city center, it's $230 with 70 cents. I would say it's higher than that, especially on a city of Caracas. So you go to Caracas and you get a price, let's say over than that, you're not getting scammed. That's the price. Maybe they're taking the average from the entire country and we have still a lot of depressed real estate markets where you can find very cheap deals. One bedroom apartment outside of city center, $208. Yet again, you can find deals outside of Caracas, but in Caracas, that's not the price. A three-bedroom apartment on the city center, $438. And a three-bedroom apartment outside of the city center is $372 with 79 cents. I would say this is an accurate of the average of Venezuela. Remember, cities like Caracas, Lecheria, Valencia are going to be way higher and take these prices with a grain of salt. Of course, if you go to a more depressed city here in Venezuela, you're going to get very cheap prices. Now let's go with the buy apartment prices. Price per square meter on the city center is $633. I would say it's accurate. It could be even less if you do some house hunting, house searching. However, for the major cities, it's gonna be way higher than that. In Caracas, it's easily over $1,000 on the city center on the nice areas. I have clarified that. Also, a price per square meter outside of the city center is $658. Yet again, take it with a grain of salt. It can drastically vary between city to city. And lastly, we're going to review salary and finance. The average monthly net salary after taxes for the average Venezuelan is $174. I would say it's very accurate, this number. My estimate is around $200. So I'll say, yeah, it's very accurate. And lastly, the mortgage interest rate yearly for 20-year a fixed rate mortgage is 23.72%. I would say this number is completely yes. Please disregard this information because in Venezuela there is not a mortgage market. When you buy a home, you buy it cash for Venezuelans and internationals alike. So please disregard this last number. So there you go, the average prices by NUMBEO, the popular expat site, and take these numbers. They're not that surreal. I'll say they're kind of on a range. Still, take it with a grain of salt. Remember, depending on the city, the prices also drastically change. So just keep it as a reference. Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.